Stock market today analysis for Thursday, February 9th, 2023. I'm going to put a link at the 1 minute mark to a playlist that has 5 videos in it that with these 5 videos and these downloads over here at ihavesuccess.com, you should be in a position to begin selling cash secured put options on stocks you don't mind owning. If you get assigned, you can sell covered call options. It'll help you set up some charts and things like that. In the description of this video, there's a link to I Have Success. There's also a link to that playlist. It's like trading options for beginners. So however you want to access it, but a link is gonna be popping up right here at 1 minute and 5 seconds. You don't have to watch it right now. And here it is. Boom! You can remember 1 minute, or you can go down to the description when this video is done. I'm going to try to go through all these different market things relatively quickly, since I want to get in the sauna, my friends, and it's 7:32 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time here. We're looking at the futures. What do we see happening with the futures right now? This candle we see here, we're looking at the futures market. All of these charts here show 1 month of data, and each candle is 1 day. And this newest candle, this was yesterday's candle. This is today's candle, meaning today being the watch up here, the 10th. Well, down here it says the 9th. How is that? Well, because these markets are running on Eastern Standard Time. So I've had to learn how to trade on a way different time zone, Hawaiian Standard Time. Anyways, let's get into this. We see the overall stock market indices. The futures have been going down, and right now those candles are opening down. All these new candles are at the bottom of the old candle. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has sold off. It is battling this 200-day moving average, right at battling that 22,000 area. In yesterday's video, I was talking about how it's kind of between this 24 and 23, 24 and 22, somewhere in that range, and it's definitely blasted through the 23. Now it's testing the 22 with the newest candle opening up right there at you can see it's at the bottom of that. So let's see how that's going to play out. If you are in a state that grants you enough freedom to speculate in Bitcoin, I would not be a buy and hodler. I personally would be like a position trader, day trader, swing trader, scalper, but I wouldn't be buying and hodling, and I wouldn't be shorting and hodling that way either. I'd be trading up. I don't really think on Bitcoin you can do anything too grandiose going sideways, but if you can catch a little bit of these up and down movements. The reason why I don't think you can do anything grandiose when it's going sideways is, generally speaking, to cash flow something going sideways, it needs to pay dividends, which Bitcoin does not, or you need to do some option strategies on it. And the options market for Bitcoin is, from my understanding, just not built out too much. Now I'm doing all this talking. Why aren't I actually doing it? Because I live in the People's Republic of Hawaii, and we do not have enough freedom to trade Bitcoin. Maybe some people would say, well, if you do this, you do that, there are all these things, and possibly, but I don't need to do all those things. I have like 3 brokerage accounts, and all 3 of the brokerage accounts I have, maybe I have more than 3, but the 3 main ones that I have been using in the last couple of years, none of them allow me to trade Bitcoin, because I live in this state that might look like paradise, but based on the laws, I don't know. Silver it took a drop. Now it's moving further, even more. Looks similar here to gold. Really just selling off. Natural gas seems to be kind of going sideways through here. And crude oil started moving back up to this $80 mark, but got around here around 79 or something, and started kind of pulling back. So at the moment, it's still staying between this range of 72 82. 10-year treasury yield has kind of come down here and pivoted with a nice strong movement to the upside. Now it's kind of sort of moving sideways, but pushing towards the top end of that sideways range. VIX, our VIX, your VIX, their VIX, whose ever VIX it is, futures of that, it has it's been moving up a bit, and we broke over that 20,000 or 20 point area, and we'll see how high it's going to go. The VIX is basically derived from options trading on the SPX, and so this is ES is futures for the S&P 500, and the SPX is a indice for it, S&P 500. And generally, when you see this moving down, you're going to see the VIX moving up. All of our major stock indices, futures for the stock indices, move down with those. Did I already talk about that? Candles trading at the bottom of those range. Look at the general, what I consider to be the general markets, the markets that I will look at. We're not going to look at these three because we already looked at them. Here is our indices. Here's the VIX. Okay, look at that. Boom, big candle up today in the VIX, closing in at 20.71. Big drops down. So yesterday I was talking about what was there going to be? It's like, hey, the uptrend seemed to be still intact. Well, that just kind of took out the uptrend. Now, that doesn't mean that like we're going into a bear market. I'm just talking about this uptrend right here. Just this last couple weeks, whatever, 3 weeks, whatever, right? It's been going up, pivoted here, went down. Since here, it's been on a pretty good, strong bull run. But at the moment, like once it broke this pivot point, it could move higher, it could resume that. But at the moment, it's not, right? And it'd be different if we got a candle to the upside. I think on yesterday's video I talked about if we had a candle to the upside, that tells us one thing, but we got a candle to the downside, that's telling us something else. And it broke this little pivot area right here. The next thing would be around this 400. And as I've been saying in these videos, I'm watching to see what's going to happen around the 4,200 to 4,400 area. And right now we got up to test that 4,200, but it pulled back, right? So we got pulling back. Quite a big sell-off here in the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, same thing, and the Russell 2000 really pulled back too. And keep in mind these trend lines are completely subjective, but you see, subjectively it got broke this little upward trend right here. Again, it doesn't mean it can't rebound up, but where was the last pivot? It looked like maybe it was going to make a pivot here. It didn't, so this is the point that we'd be looking at next. And it's making its way down there, right? There was no real resistance or support through this area, and so right here, I would imagine that tomorrow prices will be tested down here. Doesn't mean it's going to break through. Maybe it will. I don't know. But at the minimum, I would think, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be surprised at all if prices came down and touched this 1900 level. Over here, it has a little bit of support there, but seemingly broke through. But it's a little bit of a range. It could bounce back up. But if it starts selling off down into here, where we're looking at a different situation. Over here, it's kind of still in the support area, right in there. But I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down and touches this 335 area. So we broke our little pivot right here, and here would be the next one. I think I said that already. Let's look at the 12 sectors, see if there's anything quickly coming to mind. Okay, now this one potentially still. It's like, it still could be. I could, possibly. It's a bit of a, it's reaching a bit, but here would be our pivot area, and it's getting close to testing that. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Next pivot would be down here, and this is 140 area. If it breaks that, probably gonna at some time coming back down here to the 135. Oh man, the healthcare sector really sold off. You see this nice downward channel that it's just been staying in, and just been staying, touched the top of that and sold off. Although it's sort of hitting this this range-ish area in here of support. If this keeps coming down and this keeps moving sideways, it's going to be pushing pressure to potentially break to the downside. And then the financial sector, all right, seems to be moving sideways now, right? Creating this little bit of a base right in here, which is a little higher than here. We'll see if it, this 36 area, I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to touch that 36 to the penny. Or, you know, we might see an update. It's been pretty volatile for the whole, any of these, right? Look at up, down. It's up for a while. Big update, but lost those. And what do we got going on here over at industrials? Broke this little bit of support right in here, this 102. Now we're down here, the 101. Is that enough? We'll see how it goes tomorrow. It's only $1 difference, but if it starts coming down here and testing this 100, then you can see we got some more pressure to the downside. Basic materials, right? Really just getting back down here. Quite a bit of a drop. It's close to a $4, around $4 drop. And then communications, pretty big drop today too. Around, what is that? Getting close to a $3 drop, somewhere in there. Kind of hitting this support area right into there. And so I want to be surprised if it's going to come down and touch in here. And please keep in mind, I'm not saying that that's what I think it's going to do. I'm just saying that if it keeps going down, that seems to be where these next places of support go. If any of these, including these ones we haven't talked about yet, if they start moving up, we're looking to see how long does it take to regain this price action. So for example, look at how long prices were down here, right? Prices were here, they opened here, they closed here. But as far as you're looking at how strong is a bull or bear trend, right? It's been in this downward trend. So it's been in this bear trend. Prices came up, and then 2 days later, boom, prices are back here. That's telling me that the in this sector the bear has some strength, right? So as far as to the upside, we'll see how things go tomorrow. But when there's these big candle drops, we want to see how quickly it takes to get back up to the top to regain. Okay, over here in energy. Now in energy, right, we had 2 candles later where we're still in the body of this candle, but now we're kind of in the bottom 50%, right? Just barely in the bottom 50%. Here's our pivot point right here. For energy, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down here and tests this 86, or I wouldn't be surprised if we see it moving up a little bit. But it seems like most of the market is, at the minimum, sold off today, kind of sold off yesterday too. Here, kind of going sideways with the consumer discretionary. So our uptrend definitely kind of, our short uptrend here is definitely kind of moving into a sideways trend. So how long that takes. Consumer staples, I mean, consider it still on a downward movement here, and we're close to testing this. If it breaks this low, then we know it's probably going to go lower. And then with utilities, right, really sold off. Now, depending on what your trading, your investing style, strategy is, at some point, I mean, if you're interested in utility stocks, the more this sells off, the more, maybe, at the minimum, the more you'd probably want to, well, let me rephrase that. If you're interested in any particular sector, I don't mean just trading it, I mean potentially owning an asset in it for a longer duration, you want to have an idea of like what stocks you'd already like to own. Well, let's say you're interested in the utility sector, but you don't know the stocks yet. Then you could go to something like Yahoo Finance. They have a free screener. And do something like this. Sector you want to be in, utilities. Let's see, large cap, mid cap, small cap. You can do that if you want. Price range, we'll leave that open. But what we are going to do, we're going to add, just going to add a little bit of volume, 3-month average. We're going to add that, and that we want to have half a million. Is that half a million? 1, 2, 3. Yep, 500,000. Okay, that dropped us down to 65. We're gonna have 500,000 or more shares traded on average. So we're looking at a little more liquid stocks, and something else, just some easy stuff in case you. We'll do this total enterprise value, or usually called enterprise value to EBITDA. We're gonna do this one. And we want this to be less than 10. This is basically giving us an idea. Right now we're down to 11 stocks here. This is giving us an idea of is this a good price to buy it at? The value of the company based on the earnings. Is this a good company? Find stocks. Let's do one other thing. Let's throw in. Oh, I missed it. There it is. Give us a forward dividend yield. So going forward, let's ask for dividend yield of 3% or more. Okay, now we're down to 6 stocks, right? That makes it pretty easy to look. There you go. Now, these are definitely not stock recommendations, but I'm just showing you how you could potentially screen for some stocks. And then, what you want to do is, okay, they're all, right? They're almost all of these. This one, it's like only 2 of them are under 1 million, but they're obviously all over 500,000 shares traded on average per 3 months. Pretty good. We got a whole different price range here, anywhere from $2 up to looks like 65. So you'd want to dig into these and look at some other things. So maybe some of these are getting to be better deals with the enterprise value to EBITDA because the stock price dropping down. So that's something that you can do. You kind of put stuff on your watch list and see what you might like to do. If you want you want a little bit of help with that as far as like knowing more of what I look at, and you want to see exactly the stocks that I'm using, then download something here, but definitely enter your information in here, because within the next I don't know, anywhere from 30 to 90 days, I'm going to be launching a very inexpensive product that you'll see exactly stocks that I'm interested in, and doing fundamental analysis. They'll all be stocks that I would be interested in selling cash secured put options on. Some of them will be for long-term holds. Some will be for doing the wheel strategy. Some of them will have a variety of different reasons why I might be interested. They're not stock recommendations. It's a learning platform, but go ahead and enter your information in there if that's something that you would be interested in finding out more information about once it gets released. So that's something that you can do. Also, I've been doing the same thing over here. I got my eyes on 2 different stocks in the healthcare sector. I'm pretty drawn to. It's not that I'm drawn to the industrial sector per se, but it happens to be a lot of stocks that meet the criteria that I'm interested in happen to be in the industrial sector, sometimes in the basic materials too. And we see real estate kind of going sideways to drop down. That's a pretty big engulfing candle here. This would tell me that it's quite possible that might see some pressure more to the downside, but it has a good amount of support here at 40. And retail kind of fell off also. Look at this. Take a peek at what's going on in here. This doesn't really surprise me too much, to be honest with you, because this point right here, this point right here, this point right here, and this point right here, even though they're not an exact line, they're kind of in the same area, right? They're sort of in the same area. So I had been, a lot of these videos I have been talking about that I was noticing were in a range kind of like this 380 to 400, and this around like 360-ish to 320-ish. And the way that I'm coming up with that is that I'm just looking where these prices start kind of overlapping and pivoting. Right? You see pivot here, pivot here, pivot here, and then there's a lot of kind of pivots in here. And basically almost all last year, well, I guess starting a little bit before last year, we started this downward trend. So, and then towards the end of last year, it kind of started moving sideways a bit. And so, because let's say, like, if you look at the fundamentals of what's going on, not just in the economy, but just in society, there's overall some pressure pushing things down, right? War in Europe that looks like we're getting closer and closer to having. I mean, it's debatable. I've heard people saying that we already have boots on the ground, but it's not like, common knowledge. What's in the news now is more and more people talking about the U.S. had blown up that Nord Stream pipeline or whatever. So there's like, rumors of nuclear war. There's definitely war going on, and things like that, right? That's a lot of layoffs, and that's not necessarily great, for the average person. I get it. It's great for Lockheed Martin. It's great for these warmongering companies. But, as far as things for like, Chipotle, people going out to eat and stuff, people shopping at a Walmart, if you probably have a nuclear bombs dropped on you, you're probably not really worried about ordering stuff from Amazon. So there's some downward pressures, right? But at the same time, you got things like the plunge protection team. You got things like, I know the interest rates are higher than they used to be, but they're still kind of low interest rates. And this is another one. You got inflation, right? What else? You got stock buybacks. You got other things kind of helping to prop the market up. You got forces pushing the market down, and you got things pushing the market up. And so if you got things pushing it down, but you also have things propping it up, I'm not talking about sellers and buyers. I'm talking about plunge protection team, stock buybacks, undercover quantitative easing, low interest rates. And I know they're raising the interest rates, but we're not at 14% interest rates, right? We're still relatively low, historically speaking, from my understanding. So anyways, that's why it's not really shocking to me to see something go sideways. So how far is it going to pivot down, right? We're definitely in a downward pivot. How far is it going to pivot down? I honestly, even though I got a crystal ball over here with me, I'm not seeing through it clearly enough where it tells me. But what would I not be surprised with? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls back to the 400 area, or anywhere kind of, around that, like this little point right there, right? There was a point right there. I get it. It pivoted on the upside, but it was showing a pivot right there, showing a pivot right here, right there, right there, right there, anywhere in here. I wouldn't be surprised also if it didn't get down to the 400 and it went, I don't know, somewhere in between there, or just started going up, you know, like a quick little pivot like this, right? It was going up, pull back a little bit, start going up. But we want to look at that. How long is it going to go down before it pivots up? That's gonna be pretty telling, right? It could see this point right there. Look at how it's kind of lining up right there, right? We see it right there, right there, right there, are pretty close to it, right? So maybe it catches support right here and starts going up. If it does catch support right there and start going up, then that tells us that we have a low, higher low, higher low, right? High, higher, higher high, higher high, higher high. If it starts going up, we'll have another higher high, and then let's see if it touches up here about the, you know, when it can reach to the 420. So whatever direction it goes and however fast it gets, either to like the 400, what it does around the 400, and it doesn't have to be just right at 400. It could be 390, you know, somewhere in that range. What's it going to do kind of in this area, or is it going to go up here and be more testing in the 420? How long does it take to get to the 420? What does it do around the 420? All those type of things. And in the meantime, you know, unlike Bitcoin, you know what you can do in the stock market? You can cash flow this stuff somewhat easily. I mean, I don't want to make it sound overly easy, because if it was overly easy, why would anyone work a regular 9 to 5? Right? No one would. If you could just sit home and cash flow the stock market so easily, that's what everyone would do. Well, in theory, you can do it pretty easily, but in reality, it's a little bit of a skill, right? Just like in theory, you're just going to slip that jab and fire back with whatever, with your own cross. But you know, theory in a real fight is you know, it's two different things. To say I'll do this and I'm imagining this, and then there's when the emotion is turned on. So let's see which way it goes tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so end of the week. Let's see how the week ends, and then we'll look at some weekly charts maybe tomorrow over the weekend. Maybe look at some monthly charts, and ultimately, you know, the reason why I'm suggesting learning to sell cash secured put options on stocks you don't mind owning is because I feel, for me personally, this is the hardest way for me to lose money. It's not the fastest way to make money though, but it's the hardest way to lose money, and I like that. Now, it's not the only thing that I do. I will definitely do other things that are potentially riskier, and I can make a lot more money faster. But this is my go-to over and over, because look, I live in Hawaiian Standard Time Zone, right? Even if you don't live in Hawaiian Standard Time Zone, what if you got 3 kids? You know, what if you got a job and you got 3 kids? You got a busy life. Well, this is one thing I'm dealing with. Look, it's 8 p.m. here on Thursday. It's already Friday, 1 a.m. in the morning on the where the market trades at. So basically around 3:30 a.m. the stock market's going to open up. Your good buddy Brent's going to be sleeping. And if you tell me, well, you can wake up, you know, well, why don't you speak for yourself? I'm not doing it. Ask me if I want to wake up. No, I don't want to wake up. I'm sleeping. So I had to figure out ways to trade around it, and not let that excuse, you know, well, I can't make money from the stock market because I need to sleep in. Where? Nope. I found a way to do it. Right? And even though it's not as lucrative as waking up at 3 o'clock and day trading the futures market, get some scalping some futures trades before I go to work. It's not as lucrative as that, you know, which maybe I would be done working if I would have not wanted to get 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep. But I do. I prefer my health and a positive mood over money. So, and how do I know that? Because 2012, I pushed myself to the limit of waking up early in the morning and day trading. So I know I can do it. I know I can make money from it. And I also know that it makes me a horrible grump and I'm just lethargic all day. So it wasn't worth it. to me. And my point of all that is that I don't know what your life situation is. You know, what if you got a couple kids? What if you got a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old? They need your attention. I'm requesting. I'm gonna make a humble request, even though I don't know you. You don't know me. I'm requesting. Please be a good parent. Please do that for your children. You don't have to do it for me. I'm requesting on behalf of your children, right? Please be a good parent. You can make money from the stock market by using some strategies like this that will allow you to be making some money. You might have to go to some other job or something like that. That's good. You got to bring in money to help your kids out, support your family. But you can make some more money here, and this doesn't really take a whole lot of time. So download this stuff. Watch that playlist at 1 minute, and be on the lookout for emails from me that will give you some pointers and things like that. And as I mentioned, I want to be releasing some products that may or not be interest to you, but I know for a fact there's a couple people on earth that they will help. And if I only help a couple people, then amen. I'm doing what I'm here for. You guys have a fantastic night. I'm going to get this uploaded so I can go in the sauna. Aloha.